Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, NerdModon, and welcome to Recap, a video series where I'll be going over what has been occurring over the last week and talk with you guys about things that you can be expecting in future episodes. So with that said and done, let's jump right into the episode, shall we? So of course, starting things off on the YouTube side of things, I'm sure many of you guys have noticed that YouTube now supports 60 frames per second in 720p and 1080p. Unfortunately, YouTube has not enabled the 1440p and 2160p, which is unfortunate in many accounts considering that I'm not really willing to downgrade the quality of my videos just to have more frames per second. Definitely, don't get me wrong, I think 60 frames per second coming to YouTube in those said resolutions at the moment is definitely very exciting, and I think it makes the viewing experience, especially for video games, a lot more enjoyable when it comes down to the main gist of it. However, as a content producer, I find it my obligated duty to appease to all resolutions when it comes down to it, and I feel like that's just kind of where I sit when it comes down to the quality and the resolution scales that YouTube allows. Now, considering that 60 frames per second on YouTube is very new when it comes down to the general public, many of us do not quite have the capabilities of watching 60 frames per second, and when it really comes down to it, there's a lot of applications other than Chrome that don't have the capabilities of currently watching it. And I'm sure YouTube is very much aware of these issues, and I'm sure they're working with these companies to resolve the issues as quick as possible, and I'm really hoping that they'll up their game when it comes down to the higher resolutions that YouTube allows, like 1440p and 2160p, also in 60 frames per second. Now, with that information discussed, of course, I'm sure many of you guys are aware that I haven't been uploading Recap in the last couple of weeks, and I definitely do apologize about that. I really enjoy making these types of videos considering that it allows me to give you guys information about what's going on behind the scenes, and in many cases just provide some general information to you guys as the viewer. But I've also been really busy with work when it comes down to the main gist of it, and that's been taking a lot of my time when it comes down to producing videos for you guys, recording videos, and in many cases just coming up with new ideas or executing on the ideas that are currently on my whiteboard. So I definitely do apologize about that. I feel like everything should be resolving here though, considering that I have just now went down to part-time, and I feel like I should be able to utilize my one more plus day off when it comes down to it, and I'm hoping that I'll utilize it to the most benefits of making you guys content and making better content when it comes down to the main gist of it. Now, transferring over to the gaming side of things, I've definitely been playing a little bit of Battlefield 4. I've actually been having quite a bit of fun with it considering that I've been trying new weapons out, and for the most part it's been a very enjoyable experience. Now, one of the main redeeming qualities that's really been making Battlefield 4 a lot more fun is considering that one of my good friends, Days, has jumped back into the meat grinder with me, and we've been having a pretty good amount of fun when it comes down to it. I feel like our tactics are definitely being a little bit more implemented on a larger scale, and I feel like we're very successful as a team when it comes down to it. Now, another thing is that I've actually joined a clan in Battlefield 4. I'm currently out in the tryout season when it comes down to it. I feel like statistically I am more than capable of joining the clan considering that I find myself to be a pretty good player. I mean, for the most part, if you saw my statistics, you would probably want me on your team. Now, by all means, that does not mean I am the best player at Battlefield 4 by any means, considering that I just don't have that much time to dedicate to a video game, but for the most part, I do enjoy playing it, and I feel like I'm a pretty good player when it comes down to accuracy purposes and calling out strafes and tactics for my team. So I guess in terms of the overall clan, I'm very excited for it. I'm hoping that everything will work out, but I'm also not going to be too down if I don't get in, considering that it's not really a big deal. I don't have as much time as I used to when I was a lot younger, which seems to be the case for these guys, but that's not a big deal for me personally. And finally, transitioning over to the real life side of the video, considering that that's definitely the most potent part of the video, considering that I've definitely been very busy over the last couple of weeks, as I'm sure many of you guys have pretty much found that to be a true fact when it comes down to my upload schedule. However, I've been doing my very best to upload as many videos as I possibly can in my free time, and I feel like I've been pretty successful when it comes down to the main gist of it. Of course, there is room for improvement, but I guess that's just kind of how it works out when it comes down to working a job, and in many cases having to do YouTube on the side. Now, something that I've definitely been trying to work on for the last couple of months is trying to save up some money for another rendering PC. Now, this is something that really only affects people that are going to be doing a lot of rendering. In many cases, I don't do a ton of rendering, but I would really like to take a little bit of the stress off of my gaming PC and to place it onto a dedicated rendering PC, which would make my life a little bit easier when it comes down to recording gameplay, trying to get a lot of footage for the next couple of days, especially when it comes down to my work schedule, and in many cases just making you guys a lot more videos when it comes down to the main gist of it. So currently I'm definitely saving up as much as I can, but I do have a couple more expenses that need to be paid for before that becomes something of a reality, but for the most part you guys can be expecting a lot more content here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm really looking forward to definitely getting this pumped out, and I'll definitely be making a video for you guys talking about it. But anyway guys, this has been this episode of Recap. I hope you guys found something entertaining throughout the video, and until the next episode guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out guys. Peace.